back to my channel. Today I have a very easy recipe for bread that needs no kneading, and it's done. You can start at about 3 to 3.5 hours before you want to have your bread. It's super easy. Do it with the family. It's very economical and you have different options. So we're going to start with 300 grams of bread flour if you have it, all-purpose flour if you don't have, if that's all you have. So don't stress about it, or you can mix a third of wholemeal with all-purpose and just keep it light. It's a gorgeous bread. So we're gonna put our flour in our bowl, and we are going to add 3 grams each of dry yeast, sugar, and salt. We're gonna mix that together. And then here I am adding 230 ml of warm water. I also added 20 ml of oil. If you don't have the oil, if you're trying to be economical and really manage your resources, just do it with water. It's absolutely fine. So we're gonna add all of this together. We're gonna stir it until it all comes together, and it's going to be a very loose, sort of shaggy, raggedy mixture. We just need to bring all the ingredients together, bring the flour into the liquid. Make sure that you don't have that powderiness, so pick up all your flour as you are stirring this. And as you can see, this is a very loose, floppy mixture. I'm gonna transfer it into a clean bowl. And then we are going to leave this to rest, covered loosely with cling film on your work surface for 2 hours. In 2 hours, we'll come and see how it is. It should have risen. Not necessarily to double the size, but it would have risen in the 2 hours. I would imagine quite considerably. And then we will take it from there. I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, our bread has been proofing for 2 hours, and as you can see, it is, can you see all the bubbles? It has really risen. It's beautiful and sticky. I have a little bowl with water here. I'm going to wet my hands because that'll make it easier for me to handle getting it out of the bowl. And I am gonna put it on a flour surface so that we can work it. As you can see, it's so much easier to do if my hands are wet. And there we go. Excellent. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the underside over so that I can have flour the dough, so it'll make it easier for me to work on it. I'm gonna flour my hands as well. You don't want to add too much flour to it. So we're just gonna turn it and push it and fold it into itself, and then keep on doing that until we get a nice sort of elasticy dough that will be easier to work with. It's coming together so easily. As it's getting sticky, I'm just pulling in a bit more flour and keep on working it. Just pushing it, folding it, turning it, folding and pushing, folding and pushing. Really very easily. We just want it to just come together, and as you can see, it's a bit smoother, yeah? So do it a couple of more times, trying to get rid of that stickiness, but not so much. It's really not that big a deal. And that's it. You don't have to work it anymore. So we're gonna turn it and sort of make it into a ball, pat it a little bit to make it sort of the same amount of, the same height, as much as we can. And we're gonna cut it into 6 pieces. You can cut it into less, you can make it into a loaf. I like to cut it into 6 pieces. Here we go. We're gonna keep it under wrap, and we're gonna work with 1 piece at a time. Put a little bit more flour, as it is still quite sticky, and we're going to just roll it around and tuck it under, and then put it in the palm of our hands and roll it, right? And we're going to place it on a tray, a baking tray, cover with grease-proof paper, and continue doing the rest. Just always make sure to have the sort of the bottom where we're, you know, tucking it under, that goes, when you rest it again, that goes on the bottom of the, you know, place, that'll be the bottom of the roll. And here we go. 6 rolls. We're going to loosely cover it again, and we're gonna let it rest for 30 minutes. We'll come back in 30 minutes, finish it, and make sure to put it, and then put it in the oven and see what happens. So I've got another batch. You can see the yeast, how it's worked, all the fermentation, how that's, you can see all the bubbles, wonderful. So I am I'm gonna dust my surface again, and then I'm going to wet my hands, because it's easier to handle the dough with my wet hands. And this time I'm just gonna make one big bit of bread rather than cutting it into rolls. Just make it into a ball, and we're gonna lift it and place it in the middle of my tray with grease-proof paper. I'm gonna dust it a little bit at the top, just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna reuse this bit of cling film and let it rest for 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and slash it and butter it and put it in the oven. So it's been half an hour. My rolls have risen a bit further. So now, so now we're gonna remove the plastic. It's gotten a bit stuck, but don't worry about it, it's fine. And I am going to brush them with a bit of melted butter, generously, to just get that gorgeous brown crust. And I was looking through my cupboards, and I had the end of a bag of sesame seeds. So I thought, why not? Let me just add some sesame seeds. If you want sesame seeds or pumpkin seeds or anything you have, you know, just to make it a bit more interesting, that would be incredible. So I am going to, before I put my sesame seeds in, I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to cut across at the top. Just do the one cut in the middle, one cut across, and then on each side another little cut. And that will allow the bread to sort of, while it's baking, rise a little bit more. Do that. Then I'm gonna just sprinkle some sesame seeds for a bit of extra crunch. And what I've done is I've reheated my oven to 220 degrees Celsius, and I have placed a container of water at the bottom of the oven. So, and that what it does, it allows the bread, it creates steam so the bread doesn't crust up as soon as it hits the heat. And it allows the bread to sort of bloom even more and then create that crust. So let's go do it. As I mentioned before, we can do this recipe and shape it however we want. So we've shaped this one as one big bowl. And I am going to now put some butter on it, as I did with the rolls. A generous amount, which makes it gorgeous and golden. And then I looked in my cupboards. This is completely optional. First, we're gonna take a serrated knife and we're going to make an incision going down in the middle, one on one side, one on the other side. There you go. Just 3 incisions. Then I'm going to put some sunflower seeds, which I found in my cupboards, at the back of my cupboards, and some black salt. You can, any flake salt will do, but I think this makes it look really pretty, and I just had it sort of hanging around. It's been there for a while, so I'm going to put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. I'm going to check on it and I'm going to turn it around halfway through, and then we'll see what happens. Excellent. Here comes the bread, fresh out of the oven. Look how gorgeous those rolls look. It's golden and gorgeous and bloomed and delicious. Now let's see. Has that hollow sound that you look for in bread when it's baked. Look how gorgeous that is. Ah. Let's see. And let's listen to that crust. Oh. And look at it inside. Beautiful. Easy, very easy bread. Make it as soon as you can. You will not regret it. And here is our second bread out of the oven. Ah, yum. How delicious that looks. Let's see if it's ready. Oh, you can hear that hollowness. So here you go. This is the easiest bread you could possibly make. I hope you enjoy.